I'm just gonna matteness, is that a word? It could be. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Griselda. So I'm super excited about this video because today I am going to be showing you not only how to create this makeup look, but also how to style your hair like this. So a few weeks ago I went to a wedding and this is the makeup look that I did, and honestly this is usually what I gravitate towards when I'm going to a special event, whether it's a birthday or wedding or something of that sort. This is usually what I gravitate towards. So I got a lot of compliments. I actually got a lot of requests from you guys to create this look, not only with the makeup but also the hair. The hair not so much, but I just decided to throw it in this tutorial just so you guys can see the whole completed look. So if you want to see how I get this look, then just keep on watching. So before I start getting ready, I always like to spray some sort of mist. Today we're going to be using the Hangover RX 3-in-1. This is a replenishing primer and setting spray. So this is not only going to help you prime your skin, but it's also going to serve as a primer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray this all over the face, and this is the peach scent, which I really love. Next we're going to go ahead and use the Grip Primer by Milk, and what I like to do with this, I really like to work it into the skin. So I like to press it in to make sure that it gets a little tacky, and then after that I like to just massage it into the skin. And once my skin starts feeling really tacky, that's how I know that the foundation is going to stick really well onto the skin. So as of lately, I have been using a different combo foundation. I usually don't like to mix my foundations because I just like to just go in and use one foundation because it's so much easier for me. But as of lately, I've been mixing the Nars Natural Radiant Foundation and then the Sheer Glow Foundation. I've been mixing them together. One of my really good friends, Deanna, she's also an amazing makeup artist, she told me to try this combination because it gives you that really nice glowy finish but keeps you matte throughout the whole entire day. So I really love using these two together, especially if I'm going to go to an event or a wedding or just anything that's going to require for me to be wearing my foundation for a really long time. I want to make sure that I don't have to touch up as often, and I really love the finish of these two mixed together. So I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Syracuse in the Sheer Glow and then Morea in the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 pumps of the Sheer Glow and then 1 pump, actually 2 pumps of the Natural Radiant. And then we are just going to mix those two, and I'm just going to apply it all over the face. If it is a little bit too dark, I just go in with a few more pumps of the Sheer Glow. By the way, you guys, look at my burn, and I have a pimple here too, which is pretty gross. So that day that I attended that wedding, I did my own hair, and clearly you could see it because I burned myself. Definitely scabbing, so I've been putting aloe vera on it, so hopefully it doesn't scab pretty bad. Not only do I love just the finish, but I love those two combinations for coverage because it just leaves your skin looking really smooth and buttery. So for concealer, I'm going to be using my Tarte ShapeTape concealer in the shade Tan. This is going to just cover up any pigmentation right underneath the eyes. You guys already know I always either use a corrector or a concealer that is a little bit warmer, not as bright, to take away any pigmentation right underneath. Especially if you're going to be taking photos, you always want to make sure that you can't see any pigmentation. If you just go in with like a super light concealer, it can give you a little bit of a white cast underneath. You can see the pigmentation that you have under the eyes. Next, I'm going to be using my Stay Naked Correcting Concealer by Urban Decay, and I use the shade 40NY. I really love the coverage of this concealer, and I love how it just instantly brightens underneath my eyes. So we're gonna bring that down. I love the applicator, and I love how it just smooths underneath my eyes. And then quickly I just go in and just pat it very softly. And then when I go around this area, what I like to do is I like to flip the Beauty Blender and then just blend everything together so the foundation kind of merges into the highlight. And then you just go back in and just continue doing the same process. I also don't feel super rushed with this concealer because it doesn't dry. So to contour, we're going to be using the Super Stay multi-use foundation stick, and I use the shade 356, which is a warm coconut. So we're going to just grab that stick and then just follow the shape that you would want to create for your face. So naturally where you would contour, that's exactly where you would place the product. Let's not forget the nose. So now I'm just going to grab the bottom of the Beauty Blender and then just kind of pinch it and then start working the product upwards, because you don't want to bring it down. You want to make sure that you keep it high up. Then I go back in with the side that I used to blend out the highlight, and I just blend it out. And you do the same thing on the other side. I definitely use a lot of contour on my forehead, so we're gonna have to go back in and add a little bit of highlight back in there. Sometimes I lose the highlight, so I just go back in there and just add a little bit more. If you want to create a really defined nose, what I like to do is I always like to go back in with the concealer and then just focus the concealer exactly where you want to have that really nice definition, and then you just go in and pinch the Beauty Blender and just blend all that out, and it automatically defines and gives you that pinched nose effect. Now we're going to go ahead and set, and I'm going to be using the McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Light Medium 2. I'm going to use the F37 brush by Sigma, and we're just going to pick that up and then set very lightly. Now I'm going to grab my Beauty Blender and just kind of dip it into the powder, and we're just going to set right underneath. And I really like this because it has a yellow base, but it's still pretty light, so it's going to brighten at the same time. To set the whole face, we're going to be using the Matte Velvet Skin powder. I've been really loving this powder for like every day, and also on top of a medium to full coverage foundation, because this just kind of seals the whole deal. This is going to help the skin look really nice and smooth, and on top of that it's going to look very velvety. But I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M527 brush, and sets the whole entire foundation. So for bronzer, I'm going to use this MakeupForever Wavy 156 brush and this Fenty Sunstalker in the shade Bagan Gayal. I think that's how you pronounce it. Every single time I murder it, but what can you do? We're just gonna follow the guide that we created with the cream contour, and then we're gonna place it right there, and then I'm just gonna go back and forth in kind of circular motions to kind of blend everything together with the powder and the translucent powder right up here. And then you just continue following the guide that you created yourself all over. I really love this brush because it's kind of flat and fluffy at the same time, so it allows you just to stay right there where you want to place the bronzer. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of this Back to Black Mineralized Baked Bronzer by Makiage. So this is served as a bronzer, but because it has a tint of color, more so like on the peachy side, I like to use it as a blush, especially for a look like this. I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to apply that right on top of the bronzer. And then I'm going to go back in with my powder brush and just buff everything together. Now going in with my Blondie by Huda Beauty. We're just going to lose a few pounds really quick right underneath. Alright, so I just leave it on for maybe like 5-6 seconds, and then I'm go in with my powder brush and then just dust it off. I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys in a little closer so you guys can see how I like to perfect the eye look. I feel like I need you guys to be like right in here so you guys can see exactly what I do, what steps, and how I like to apply the eyeshadow. First, we're going to go ahead in with our P. Louise base. So this is in the shade number 4. So we're just going to pick up a generous amount of that on the back of our hand. And then I'm just going to pick up a fluffy brush. We're just going to start packing that in. And then I bring it up high and then start blending it upwards. We're going to pick up a little bit of that Pat McGrath powder and we are going to set the base. And I'm using that same exact brush. Okay, so for the eyes, we're going to be using the ColourPop California Love palette. We're going to start off by picking up this color called Laguna right here. And I'm just using a MAC 224 brush to apply that into the crease. Picking up that same brush and this color called Rubbish, we are going to apply that right on top of Laguna. And I'm applying the eyeshadow kind of going upwards and then bringing it in the inner corner of the crease. Continuing to build the crease color, we're going to use this color called Gold Rush. And I'm using the E33 brush. This is a detailed diffuse crease brush, which I really love because it allows you to get right in exactly where you want to apply the shadow. And I'm just focusing that right in the outer corner and then bringing it up to the crease. So this color is super rich, which is gonna make all of the colors pop together. Okay, so now picking up Diego, which is this really pretty bronzy color right here. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it with my hangover spray. I'm just gonna pop that right in the center. So now we're going to pick up this color called Mission with a pencil brush. This just helps me blend it upwards and have a little bit more control of exactly where I want to place it. And then I can flick it out if I want to. And then with the stomach of the brush, I can just blend it out. If you want to be a little extra, what you can do is pick up a little bit of this color right here. This is from the Desi Katie Friendcation palette. And I like to actually do this step with my finger. I would literally just pick it up like this. And then I just place it right on top. And it gives it a lot more of a champagne-y color. But it has like specks of glitter right on top. So with looks like this, I like to stay with the same family color eyeliner. So we're going to be using the Extra Baggage by Dose of Colors. And then I'm just going to pick up this Morphe M250-1 brush. And let's not forget my little trick. We're going to use the Essential Oils by MAC. And we're just going to do one little drop. So for this look, I'm going to keep the eyeliner right to the shape of my eye. So I'm not doing any wing, because I just kind of connect it to where the eyeshadow ends right here. And then I bring it in. We're just going to apply a little bit of this lash blowout. So usually I don't talk about lash glue or anything like that, but for an event, and I know that I'm going to be wearing my makeup from the morning to the evening, I really do love the Huda Beauty. This is the waterproof lash, which is amazing. It grips onto your lashes really well and you don't have to worry about your lashes coming off. So now that it's tacky, we're just going to go ahead and make sure we tuck it right underneath the lash line. And I've used these lashes like 5 times already and they still look brand new. I'm definitely going to go in with Double Light because we have already that rich color going on. We're just going to keep it going right at the bottom. And these eyeliners glide on so well and they are long lasting. All right, going back to the California Love palette, we're going to use Gold Rush right here. And we're picking up the E33 brush by Sigma. And we are just going to bring that down to blend out the pencil, making it look really nice and rich. And then picking up Mission with that pencil brush, we're going to run that through the root of the bottom lash line. So I'm going to pick up a smaller pencil brush and I'm going to pick up Gnarly. And I'm just going to place that in the inner corner to kind of neutralize the transition, and it also brightens in the inner corner as well. For my highlights, we're going to be using the Jouer Molten Glow highlight. It's like a really pretty champagne color. So we're just going to pop that right here. And I'm just using a small fluffy brush because I don't want to place the highlight everywhere. I just want to place it right here so when I turn, you can see the highlight. And then this just allows me to kind of blend out the highlight a little bit better and a little bit more detail. You don't want to outdo the bride or whoever's party this is you're going to, but all I'm saying is you just might. So for my lips, we're going to be using Sweet Tea by Morphe. And then now we're going to be using Doll Face by Toofaced. I don't know what happened to my lipstick, but something happened. But we're still going to use it. It's definitely been through some stuff, but haven't we all? So we're going to pop that in the center. I feel like the whiter the better when it comes to my lips. I know I look crazy, but you know what? We're about to fix that. We're just going to go back in with the lip liner and then blend everything together. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of this For Real lip gloss by Pat McGrath right on top. Oh, my lips are a little dry. I know you guys doubted me for a second when I applied the lipstick, and you guys probably thought, what was she thinking? But I will tell you, I am the queen of nude. I know what I'm doing. All right, so now that we're all done with the makeup, we're gonna go ahead and start the hair process so you guys can see how I like to do my hair when I go to events, because you want to make it look like you got it done but you did it yourself. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. All right, so moving on to the portion of the hair, I'm gonna show you guys what products I like to use, what tools I like to use, and how I like to style my hair when I go to an event to make it look like I got it done, but I did it at home. My hair is a day wash. I sometimes prefer my hair to be a little bit more on the dirty side because it holds the curl a little bit better and it just styles a lot nicer, but I washed it yesterday, so we're gonna go ahead and just do it with clean hair. Let's go ahead and get started. First, what I like to do is I like to just part my hair halfway, and then I just put this in a hair tie and just make sure that I tighten it up really good. And then what I like to do is I like to go right down the middle to part it like this. And then once I've done that, I grab one side and then I clip so I can have it out of the way. And then you have this side to work with. So I always start at the bottom and then I grab this part and I clip it. The first step that I like to do is I like to spray the hair piece first. So now I'm gonna pick up my 19mm wand by New Me, which is one of the smallest wands that I like to use for a curl like this because I don't want the curls to be super big. We are gonna start curling inwards like this, and then we're just gonna hold it for about 6-7 seconds, and then we let it go. And then I like to hold the curl like this so I can hold all of the heat, and then I let it go. So your curl should look like this. You want to make sure that you don't brush your hair out. You want to maintain the curl like this throughout the whole time that you're curling the rest of your hair, and you guys will see why. Then you just continue the process. And I like to grab the same amount of hair for each curl and curl inward. And I always like to curl in and then keep the barrel straight back, so when you grab the curl, you can just hold it and then let it go. I try to keep the curl size very similar to every single one, so when I do brush it out, the curls look really even. So when it comes to the back curls, I'll show you guys how I like to curl them. It's still gonna be inwards, but I have to reposition my arms when I curl. So I basically bring the curl from back here and then I bring it in like this. And then I hold the curl, and then we just hold the heat in the curl. Okay, so now that we have the left side, we're gonna go ahead and start the right. We're gonna take this down, and essentially you wanna do the same thing. You wanna part from the bottom, and then you wanna spray. And then this side, I'm gonna grab my left arm and then curl inwards with my right arm. And just be very careful before I burn myself again, because that really hurt. And you let it go. And then the curl should go inwards like this. Okay, so now for this last piece right here, which is gonna fall directly back here, what I like to do is we're gonna spray it really well, and then I like to curl it inwards like this, and it's gonna fall really nice in the back, going towards the rest of the curls this way. Okay, so moving to the top part, we're gonna just take this down. So usually when I do like an old Hollywood look, I like to kind of have it more towards the left side. So I'm gonna part it on the side, and then we are gonna start the curling process on this side. And just pin this up. I do the same thing. I start parting, and then I clip this up here, and then I separate these two. We're gonna hit them with that hairspray, and then we're gonna curl inwards. And I'm curling all the way to the top. And then letting that go, holding it in, letting that go. You want to make sure that you have a really nice defined curl in the front, because that's where you're going to be able to see the wave a little bit better. We're going to do the same thing right here. And I'm doing thinner sections here. For this middle portion, I'm going to do all of it at once. I'm not going to part it. That's going to give me a little bit more fullness in the center because it's going to be curled all together. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with the last section on this side. Then I like to just spray the whole section that I just curled. And then we're gonna start on the left side. And you essentially wanna do this exact same thing. It's all about curling inwards on both sides. So now moving on to the last piece of the hair, we're gonna part this in sections. And we are gonna put a generous amount of hairspray. And then start curling. But for this section, I like to hold the wand. I like to hold the wand upwards like this, and then kind of twirl it, and then let it go. And then do the same thing. And then when it comes to this piece, I'm gonna curl this way. Still curling it inwards, but I'm kind of pushing the wand upwards so I can create a crease in the front of the hair. So it has like a little swoop right here, like that. And your hair should look a little something like that. And then of course we're gonna add a little bit more hairspray. So now that we're all done with the curls, we're gonna use a brush. And this brush has like semi-thick brushes in between, so it's gonna help me brush all of the hair out. So I always like to start at the bottom. And then I start brushing out the top. So here at the top, what I like to do is I like to apply a generous amount of hairspray and just hold it right there. It gives you that really nice like swoop. And you guys see all these flyaways? We are going to take care of that with this elixir oil from Kerastase. And I like to put maybe like that amount all over to take away all of the flyaways. And I'm brushing my hair down so it kind of tames them. The oil definitely helps to kind of tame the hair and keeping it looking really shiny. All right, everyone, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Let me know if you like me combining hair and makeup tutorials. This is a look that was highly requested by you guys, and I just decided to throw the hair in there just because I feel like it's such an easy hairstyle, but it looks very complicated. Once you've mastered it, I think it gets easier and easier. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in my next video.